Hello, everyone. I'm back. This is Nicole. This is the last review of the show 7 Seconds from Netflix. If you've seen the other two reviews I've done of episodes 1 through 7, congratulations. You've made it to the home stretch. So, this is the assistant district attorney played, I forget the woman's name. I'm sorry for that. But her character is KJ Harper. And this is from Jennifer, the author writing this article. So I'm going to start off and then give my commentary as usual as we go through this article. And she says, I was right. The writers behind 7 Seconds gave us a real ending to the trial involving the tragic death of Brenton Butler and its cover-up. It wasn't a tragic death. Dying of Alzheimer's is tragic death. Dying from getting hit by a car is a tragic death. This was a murder. So we need to put that into perspective. Then these last few episodes are basically all about Jablonski, which I didn't like either. It says Jablonski was sentenced to 364 days of jail time. How disrespectful to not even round it up to 1 year. Mike D'Angelo aided in killing Nadine. Okay, so I said in the previous video her name was Natalie. I could not remember. It was a little white girl with a purple streak in her hair. She was a meth head and everything. But she witnessed Mike D'Angelo and the other Goon Squad members coming to leave Brenton to die. So Mike D'Angelo aided in killing her, and the man who actually killed her was another non-white person. I think he was like Puerto Rican or something, because Mike D'Angelo kept making these Puerto Rican jokes about him. So she was the only witness, a 15-year-old, and she could have put him and the other two dirty cops behind bars. Felix, okay, so I see his name right now. Felix was the one who actually killed the girl by giving her a hot shot. He gave her a hot shot of heroin that was laced with probably rat poisoning or strychnine or something like that. And now they're all living their lives outside bars, kind of. Excuse me. Although the cops all got off super easy, all of them will be haunted for the rest of their lives. Think about George Zimmerman, the Florida neighborhood patrolman who murdered 17-year-old Trayvon Martin in 2012. And just from the 911 phone call alone, the man should have been convicted, but he was acquitted of all charges. Trayvon's senseless murder is what sparked the Black Lives Matter movement and has caused necessary unrest in a country immune to black bodies having no value. And Zimmerman, for the rest of his life, will live in fear. He shouldn't be living. Felix is the reality of Zimmerman. So overwhelmed by keeping the secret of covering up the accidental death of Brenton, he buckles a bit here and there. He thinks about telling his story to a fellow Latino reporter, someone who he hesitates to trust in front of the guys at the precinct, because he doesn't want anyone to take note that he is Latino. Something that is hella obvious. I agree. I mean, it's like, okay, what you want us to think, you mixed or something? Like, it's very obvious that you are Latino. Like, you trying to pass as Italian or something? Whatever. There goes that black and brown unity. And he gets ridiculously angry with his wife at a party, sending her into a frenzy because she is completely in the dark about what's going on. This man is brimming with guilt. Instead of him finally giving in to his conscience, he chooses to embrace the dark side. When D'Angelo hesitates to kill Nadine, Felix does it himself, and he does it so that he can maintain loyalty within the group. The girl had gotten away from D'Angelo, ran through the woods screaming, and Felix went after her. He shot her with an obscene amount of heroin, and when he returned, he seemed emotionless, just dead in the eyes. And this is what Felix will be like for the rest of his life. In the world of 7 seconds, This is also payment for what he did to both Brenton and the girl. Before Jablonski was taken to the pen, Felix asked him how he sleeps at night because he couldn't. I hope that his uneasy spirit continues to wriggle around in his body for the rest of his life, because if justice couldn't get him, then spiritual karma definitely will. It always does. And this is a picture of KJ Harper with the mother, Teresa. And I think she was showing her a picture of, I think that was a picture of Jablonski, if I'm not sure. Let me scroll down some more. Guilty consciences are not common with D'Angelo's posse, and that was at the center of their sick and twisted plan to cover up Brenton's death. Although Jablonski's wife, Marie, wasn't at the scene of the crime, she fits right into what D'Angelo wanted. People who just didn't give a fuck. And one thing I would say about Marie and all the other white women in this movie, they all joined forces and got on code real fast. Especially Jablonski's wife, Marie. She was like, so what? Basically like, so what? It was sad that this child died, but whatever. Like, we just gonna go on and live our life and pretend it didn't happen. So she was one of the motivating factors keeping Jablonski from just outright going and turning himself in. And D'Angelo knew she was the type of person like that. That's why when push came to shove, she went to D'Angelo about her problems, not her own husband. Because she, like they just said right now in the next paragraph, Marie is a cold-hearted bitch. I'm just going to say it. She was one of the weakest, whiniest, most entitled, apathetic, and narrow-minded women I've seen on screen. You forgot to mention racist. She begged her husband to continue with the cover-up because he promised her a good life. Woman, what? I would have said, bitch, what? What now? Jablonski tries to do the right thing. I use quotes because if he was a real man, he would have just turned himself in the beginning. That's what he would have done. But his wife encourages him to just be cool and let D'Angelo drive things. She even gets mad at Jablonski for not fleeing when they had the opportunity. She is so focused on having the white picket fence life that she is willing to discard her husband's moral conviction just so that she can have what all the Disney princesses had. Doesn't she know no Disney princesses live in Jersey? Girl, bye. Yeah, she was a dumbass bitch. I gotta take a sip on that because throughout the whole show, it was about her. What she gonna do? What she gonna get? Who gonna do for her? So she was a clear symbol of white femininity on this show. While Marie's cousin Teresa was acting like a duckling at first, she was real awkward and skittish around Jablonski. She redeems herself by testifying that the grill of the car that hit Brenton was in Jablonski and Marie's backyard. And it was in the backyard underneath, one of those big pools that they have on top of the ground. And since it's wintertime, I think it was like maybe winter or spring, but it was still cold outside because they had on jackets. And it was a tarp, one of those blue tarps on top of the pool. And they pulled the grill off the front of the truck at the scene of the accident. And they hid that in the backyard under that tarp. The testimony should have been the smoking gun, but Teresa did what was right, which is more than what I can say about any of the others, because nobody else in that whole group stood up and said anything. And they had a big blow up in the garage outside the courthouse after she testified. It's hella sad that doing what's right in the world can come up empty. This is why Teresa was conflicted about testifying in the first place, because who would ever convict cops? And she was right. The system only sees blue, I would say white. And that was evident by the end of the series. And then Jennifer goes on with her own opinions and commentary. I'll read that too. I have to admit, it would have been nice to see justice served. For Jablonski to have been locked up for the maximum amount of time. For D'Angelo to rot in prison because he committed so many crimes. For Felix to rot as well. And the other one that looks a lot like Count Dracula to share the same fate. Oh yeah, he did like Count Dracula. I remember him. He was the one He was the Michael Rappaport, Gary Owens, Marky Mark type. Yo, 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 what's going on? My dudes was, he was that type, hat turned backwards, fake wannabe type dude, fake wannabe hip hop white dude who is a white supremacist undercover. Him. Yeah, that he was one of the main ones in the group. I remember him. But TV was not allowed to even live in TV land because of the tumultuous state of this country. And in closing, she's saying a few other things. 7 seconds is a political message for those who believe that Brenton possibly being in a game, which he wasn't, Brenton wearing a hoodie, Brenton being in the park when he shouldn't have been, or Brenton being gay were all justifiable reasons to not care so much about a kid being hit and left for dead out in the cold by some cops. And that was another thing that he was gay. That came out. So him being gay added fuel to the fire, for the dad, for the whole family. And for me watching it, I was like, okay, you got to add more layers to this. Like, this boy hadn't been through enough. But that got added to it, and that was a part of the testimony as well. His boyfriend, which was a top gang member, they had to do a testimony of, he had to give a testimony in the judge's chambers, and they recorded that as evidence for the case, because he would not say anything on the stand. He couldn't go on the stand because he wouldn't live 24 hours after he testified on the stand. So yeah, the last paragraph, Jennifer says, I am hopeful that this piece will help human beings empathize with other human beings. Okay, that was a bullshit throwaway sentence. It's quite sickening that they don't already, and that pieces like 7 seconds have to act like an old school Saturday morning, the more you know, special. But again, I'm hopeful. For the sake of my people and my country, I'm hopeful. I mean, hope don't pay no bills, and hope don't get revenge on you. Don't get revenge for you when people do you wrong. You can hope all you want. We hope for Barack Obama to make changes, and we didn't get hope, we got nope. So you can take hope and shove it up your ass if you feel like it. Anyways, that's the end of this commentary. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. If you would like me to do reviews on other movies or shows or anything like that, I have a couple in mind that I'd like to do. One in particular is on Netflix. It's called True to the Game. Stars Columbus Short, Nelson Ellis, rest in peace to him. And there's a second one called Deuces, starring Lorenz Tate, Rotimi, and Megan Good. And then the third one I would like to do a review about is, I think it's a Nigerian movie. Y'all Africans that are my subscribers, don't cuss me out now. Don't get mad, okay? I think it's a Nigerian movie. It's called 50. The word 50. And so those are the three movies: True to the Game, Deuces, and 50. And I would like to do those before the end of this week, probably before Saturday or Sunday. So I'm gonna try to knock those out before then. But you all let me know in the comment section what other movies and shows you would like me to do reviews about. Next week I'm back to real shit. But for this week, I just wanted to take a break. It's a lot of stuff going on, and just kind of analyze some of the media that's out there. So anyway, I'll holler at y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later.